Welcome to the fifth tutorial of the Beginner MERN Stack tutorial series. In the last 4 videos, we have completed everything that was supposed to be done for the backend, and now we'll start working on the front end by installing React.js. Before we proceed any further, let's have a look at our directory structure, because this is the place where beginners get stuck. So we have demo app MERN, and within that we have node modules, package.json and index.js files. Now we'll be building the client folder which would contain the code related to our front end. So once we are completed with the current video, the directory structure would look something like this. The client folder will have its own package.json, it will have its own node modules folder, a public folder and an src folder. It will look something like this: package.json, node modules, public folder and src folder. This is the directory structure that we would get after we are done with the installation. Let's get started with the same. In my case, I have create React app globally installed, and the way you can do it is you can install create React app globally by saying npm install -g create React app, or you could also achieve the same through npx by saying npx create React app and then creating the client folder. So I'm in the root of my project, demo app MERN, and here I'm going to say create React app, and I'll name the folder as client. Enter. So this might take a little while. Until that happens, let's talk about the directory structure. So all the dependencies that are associated with React will be mentioned in package.json file, and after installation, dependencies will get installed to node modules folder. We need to be careful because we have 2 copies of the same files under the client directory and under our root of the application as well. If we have a look, then we can see package.json is present twice and node modules is also present twice. So we need to understand that whatever is present at the root belongs to the backend, and whatever is present within the client folder is belonging to the front end. All the code in our project related to front end would be present inside app.js or will be imported from the components folder that we later on create into app.js again. Let us go back and have a look if the installation is done. The installation is complete, so let's go and have a look at our client folder. So it contains node modules, it contains the public folder, and it contains the src folder. It also has a package.json file. This contains the dependencies and the scripts that will be necessary to run the React server. Inside public, we can see a file called index.html. Here we can see a div which has an ID of root. This is the location where all our code will get embedded. If we go to our app.js file within src, we can see we have pre-written code over here. If we go to our file index.js, we can see it says import app from ./app, that means this file app.js, and render it using the .render method at the location specified by the ID root. So index.js file basically says that take the app component and render it at a place called root. In our app.js component, we have a logo, we have some anchor tags which say learn React. Let's run this and have a look so as to how does it appear. So right now when we are in our root directory, so let's go to the client directory and then we can say npm start. So we'll say npm start. So this is the logo and this is the part which says learn React within the anchor tags. In order to visualize our code over here, let's remove the part that exists already and put our code in here. We'll remove everything within the app tag. Now this is empty, and we'll also remove logo because we are not using it, and we'll be putting our code over here. So for the starters, let's just write h2 hello world. We'll save it and we'll go to the browser and check. It says hello world. If we refresh, it says hello world. So all the components and the functionalities that we write will be contained or rather imported inside the app.js. Before I end the video, let me ask you to install another plugin that is helpful while creating the boilerplate code for React. If I create a folder within src with the name components, and I create a file called form.js, then there is a fast way of populating the boilerplate code inside our file. So we'll say rfce if we are going for a functional component, and we say enter. So this code is auto generated and it saves time. In order to implement this functionality, we'll have a plugin which is called ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native snippets. So once you install this, you'll be able to use all those shortcuts. That's all in the current video. In the next video, we are going to build the form component, which will help us in getting details for each item, the item name, quantity and rate that we did in the backend implementation. So see you in the next one.